Hello, guys. I hope you are doing great. You're welcome to your Light 302, and I would love us to look into Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. It's a modernist drama, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. All right, remember everything I explained to you about the modernist literature. Go back to the first video I made on this particular course and what I explained about. We've analyzed the poem already in class. I think that was Second Coming, right? Second Coming by W.B. Yeats. So go back to your notes, go back to the videos to remind yourself of what the modernist literature is all about. But one thing I'm going to remind you about modernist literature is that it's a kind of literature whereby people are left with questions. Okay, it's a kind of literature that talks about meaninglessness of life. People ask themselves, who am I? Why am I in life? What's my purpose in life? Why are we in life? Okay, it's also a kind of literature that also talks about the topic of fragmentation. Fragmentation. I explained fragmentation to you guys in the video. I explained in the last class as well. Fragmentation is when there is no connection, okay, between ideas. And there's no connection, there's disconnection, no unity. Talking about different things that are not related, fragmentation. And we are going to see that in this particular drama too, Waiting for Godot. So Waiting for Godot belongs to a type of drama that is called the theater of the absurd. I don't know if a lecturer told you that in class. It belongs to a type of drama that is called theater of the absurd. And what is theater of the absurd? Okay, theater of the absurd is a kind of drama that presents life as confusing. It presents life as repetitive. It presents life as meaningless. So the idea in the stories are not always connected. It doesn't make sense. It is confusing. You, as the audience watching that drama, you don't understand what's going on the stage. And if it is written as a text, you don't understand what is happening on the stage. There's no purpose, there's no meaning, there's no connection, there's no relevance. The word absurd itself, when we say absurd, it's raining here. So please, I'll try to raise my voice so you can hear me. It's raining where I am making this video. So the word absurd itself refers to something that is weird, something that does not make sense. Okay, something that is illogical, something that is unreasonable. That's the meaning of absurd. So when we now say that theater of the absurd, you should know that everything that's going to be done in that drama is going to be what? Unreasonable. It's going to be illogical. And everything that happened in Waiting for Godot is actually unreasonable. It is actually meaningless. It is actually illogical. For those of you that must have read that drama, you realize that what I'm saying is the truth. All the events that happen in that drama is meaningless, it's unreasonable, it's illogical. Now let's look at the characters in Waiting for Godot. We have Vladimir, Vladimir, we have Estragon, we have Pozo, we have Loki, and we have a young boy. Vladimir, Estragon, Pozo, Loki, and a young boy. Now, let me quickly summarize what happened in that poem to you in 2 minutes. I expect you to read that poem on your own. My own is to analyze that poem to you. My job is not to be telling you the story. Your job is to sit down with those books. My own is to analyze, to let you know how that book reflects modernism. Do you get it? Help you bring out the themes in the story, help you bring out the figurative devices, and the likely questions you may meet in your exam. Now, let me just tell you a short summary of that story. Now, there are two guys. They are the main characters in that poem, Vladimir and Estragon. Okay? Their aim is that they want to meet someone, and the person they want to meet is Godot. So, the title of that drama, Waiting for Godot. Okay? So, Vladimir and Estragon are waiting for Godot. So, they stood under a tree. So, while they were waiting for Godot, they were saying different things, discussing different topics. But the weirdest thing about it is that they will not conclude a particular topic before they move on to another topic. And this topic they are talking about are not related topics rather. They are not related topics. So it's just like they are wasting their time under that tree, waiting for somebody that is not going to come. So they talk about different things that are not related. Now, Vladimir is one kind of character that he remembers things a lot because it was not a day they used to wait for Godot. They spent rather to wait for Godot. The first day they waited for Godot from morning till night. So when it was going to the end of the day, a boy, came to them and told them that Godot is not coming that day, that they should come the second day, that Godot will be around the second day. So they left without achieving their aim. So their waiting that day was what? Was nonsense. It was unreasonable. They waited for nothing. So the second day they came back again. And when they came back, the tree under which they stood, okay, the leaves on that tree has reduced. That has a significance on its own. We are coming there. Did you get it? Now, when they came back the second day, everything they discussed on the first day, Estragon could not remember. He could not remember. Imagine just a day difference, a day interval. Estragon could not remember everything they discussed. And you will agree with me that if it were something that was important that they discussed, something that was relevant to their life, that was relevant to their future, something that is so important, Estragon will not forget. So that one is telling you that everything they discussed was something that has no relevance with their lives. It was just rubbish, total rubbish. Are you getting it? So the second day, they waited as well. While waiting, then a guy came by. His name is Pozo. He's a wealthy man. He has a slave. The name of that slave is Lucky. He puts a chain around Lucky's neck to show a sign that Lucky is Pozo's slave. Did you get it? So Pozo maltreated Lucky a lot. So it got to a point that they told Lucky to speak. And when he spoke, he said a lot of things that are meaningless, a lot of things that are disconnected, a lot of things that are fragmented, that are not connected at all. Remember that modernist writers they write to to mirror the era that they are in. The era that they are in is a kind of era where two world wars has disconnected the world. Two world wars, World War One and World War Two, has disconnected the world, whereby people are not connected, ideas are not connected, people do not trust each other, people do not trust the government, they do not trust their religious leaders. So the modernist writers also write to mirror that era. So everything that Locke said in that text is meaningless, disconnected, fragmented. Are you getting that? So they waited again till night that very day. The boy that came the first day came again and told them that Godot will not be coming. Can you see? Godot did not come the first day. The second day, Godot did not come as well. They left without achieving their aim. They left without meeting Godot. Now the question is, who is Godot? Who is Godot? Throughout that play, the writer did not tell us who Godot is. We don't know Godot. We don't know why they are waiting for Godot. And they spent their life waiting for a man that did not come. So that is talking about meaninglessness of life. And you agree with me that there are so many people in that position in life whereby they will wait for opportunities, they will wait for chances, they will wait for so many things in life. At the end of the day, that thing they are waiting for, they will never achieve it. Meaninglessness of life. Now, let us look into these characters. I want to tell you a few things about these characters. I mentioned four characters. I mentioned five characters actually. Vladimir, Estragon, Pozo, Loki, and a young boy. Now let's talk about Vladimir. Vladimir is an intelligent guy. Okay? He's a thoughtful character. He's philosophical. And he remembers more than Estragon. He's an intelligent guy, a thoughtful guy, a philosophical guy, and someone who has a sharp memory. He remembers more than Estragon. Are you with me? So, what did Samuel Beckett use Vladimir to represent in reality? He represents the thinking side of humanity. You know, human beings can be intelligent, can be smart, can be philosophical, we can be logical, right? We can be logical. So Samuel Beckett used Vladimir to represent that personality, a philosophical human being. And if you go to the poem, why am I calling it the poem? I've analyzed a lot of poems today. That's why I am using the word poem, poem, poem. If you if you had gone through that play, you realize that Vladimir is one character that is always searching for meaning, asking questions. He wants to know more. He wants to know who he is. He wants to know why they are waiting. He wants to know who Godot is. He is anxious. He's interested in knowing. Are you getting it? And that is one of the characteristics of modernist literature. People are looking for meaning, meaning of life. And what gave birth to that? It is the two world wars that happened. The First World War, I think 1914 to 1919. Then the Second World War, 1939 to 1945, where lots of lives were lost, properties were destroyed, many things were vandalized, there was bloodshed, infrastructures that were built with sweat, what brought them down? Rich people died, poor people died. So people were not like, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? Life is vanity. People are asking questions. Is God even good? Is God benevolent? As they preach to us in our churches, in our mosque, is God benevolent? Is God good? Because if God is benevolent, if God is good, as our preachers preach, why should God watch the world perish two different times? Why should God even put wickedness in human's hearts? So people do not trust religious leaders anymore. People do not trust government anymore. So that is what Vladimir represents in reality. He represents that philosophical human being, okay? A thinking human being that questions everything, that wants meaning. Now, let's go to Estragon. Estragon is a forgetful character, an emotional character. He was hungry and tired in that play. He was only focused on physical comfort. Kò lọ́pọlọ, kò ń ronú títí ẹ̀. You know, we have human beings like that too. That all they care about is physical comfort. They don't think deep to ask questions that, why am I? Why am I in life? What is my purpose in life? Who am I? What is my aim? What am I here to achieve? What are we even looking for in this world? What do we desire? What are these things that we are chasing in life? Estragon is not that kind of human being. He's not a deep thinker. Rather, he is someone who was just complaining of being hungry and being tired. He was just focusing on physical comfort. So, estragon is also representing another personality of human. Another human personality, let me put it that way. Are you getting it? A kind of human that is only focused on survival. Exactly. Now, who is Pozo in that play? Pozo is a wealthy master. Okay, he's a very wealthy man who dominates Loki. He's a master. Loki is his slave master. Sorry, Loki is his slave. He's the master of Loki. But in that poem, poem again. But in that drama, he makes Loki suffers a lot. He starves Loki. Okay, he made him went through hell. So, what does or who does Pozo represent in reality? Pozo represents power and human pride. He represents power. He represents abuse of power. He represents human pride. I didn't tell you, later in that drama, he became blind. The second day, the first day, Estragon and Vladimir, they met Pozo and Loki. The second day, when they came again looking for Godot, they met Pozo again, and Lucky. But this time around, Pozo was blind. What made Pozo blind? Nobody knows. Why was he blind? Nobody knows. Meaninglessness. Okay? So, Pozo represents power and human pride. Now, who is Lucky? Lucky is Pozo's servant. Okay? And he is treated almost like an animal in that drama. He represents intellectual confusion and human suffering. Samuel Beckett used Lucky to represent human suffering and what? Intellectual confusion. You know, I told you that Lucky was asked to talk in that drama, and he said a lot of things. He talked like an intelligent person, but everything he was saying was what? Was fragmented, was disconnected, it was confusing. Remember that Waiting for Godot is theater of the absurd. And I've told you that theater of the absurd is one type of drama that presents life as confusing, as fragmented. Theater of the absurd came into being after, I think, after the First World War, if I'm not wrong. Okay, theater of the absurd came into being after the First World War. So what actually gave birth to theater of the absurd was because of what the world was at that time, where people were looking for meaning, where the world was confusing. The world has become something else. That was what gave birth to theater of the absurd. Do you get it? Now, moving on. Who is Godot in that play? Godot is a character that never appeared in the play. He never appeared. So he represents whatever people spend their time waiting for in life. Godot as a character represents everything that human being waits for in life. People pray. For example, now, a barren woman, what is she going to be waiting for throughout her lifetime? Children is going to be waiting to give birth to a child. At the end of the day, you might not give birth to that child. Life is vanity. We have seen people who waited all their life for wealth until they died poor. They eventually didn't have that wealth. There are some that they waited for lifetime opportunities that can change their entire life. Till they died, they never saw that lifetime opportunity. Some wanted to travel out of the country. That is what they were waiting for. And till they ended their lives, they didn't see that opportunity. Some have political aspirations. Until they die, they didn't have that political aspiration become a reality. So things human desire that we wait for is what Godot represents. You realize that in that play, Estragon and Vladimir were waiting for Godot. But at the end of the day, Godot never appeared. Now, what are the themes in Waiting for Godot? What are the themes in Waiting for Godot? We have a theme of waiting. Okay, let us start theme with another video. See you in the next video.